It's more than just bringing the pieces together. It's almost like this puzzle, putting the pieces together. You know, there's so much work that's done on the community reinvestment side.
We start all the way on the very front end of the system. Our first goal is prevention. How do we keep at-risk kids from the juvenile justice system? Where we really hit our very, very front end services, grassroots community programs, after-school programs in rural and city areas. We also think about things like our resource and community assessment centers that allow families to come and get their basic needs met prior to ever having to be involved with the system.
We now have 23 resource and assessment centers across Ohio to holistically meet the needs of youth and families and help youth and families gain access to individualized resources and services, to gain access to any screeners for mental health or other child welfare needs.
As that progresses through, then we focus on diversion. So they've had some type of interaction, whether it be a school official, maybe law enforcement, maybe the juvenile court. There are a number of programs and interventions that could be used, including probation services. One of our focuses in Ohio has been Ohio probation transformation.
To move away from your traditional supervision-only model and move towards a practice that is aligned with evidence-based practices and interventions that is more focused on positive youth development and really focusing around identifying the individualized needs and strengths of kids on probation.
Last fiscal year, we funded over 700 different grant programs. There were over 84,000 program admissions. Over 80% completed successfully, and over 80% did not have another formal interaction with the juvenile court. So those are thousands of kids that are being served in the community prior to ever coming into one of our facilities.
You move on to our community facility side and you know what the work that Jody and her team do as it relates to community correctional facilities.
So a community correctional facility is a facility that we fund 100%, and they are county ran and county operated. So it's really like a partnership between us and the county. These are smaller facilities with very specialized treatment. They all do core youth and substance abuse and family counseling, individual counseling, group counseling.
Medicaid is important because it sets our youth up for success when they are released and they are able to hit the ground and have services provided and covered. We want to see them get the medical treatment, the mental health treatment that they need to be successful, to stay at home, to stay in the community.
So Chelsea with human trafficking, she works with CAS a lot and our alternative placements to work with kids who have been identified as victims of human trafficking. She also then works in facilities for those kids as well.
The youth are meeting with multiple different staff members, talking about this at different stages of their time at DYS, because we know that their readiness to talk about human trafficking can change at any one of those points. At all of those different points, if there are concerns of trafficking, work to connect all of the relevant team members to that response. So looking at connecting parole, behavioral health staff, me, so the human trafficking liaison. It's really important to have that plan ahead of time because they're going to need all of the things that you can think of.
When a young person touches down in our facilities, there's a lot of assessments and a lot of screenings occurring to see what the best path is for that young person. What are their actual needs? What needs do they have to be successful? A lot of it centers around mental health and behavioral health needs.
You know, having not only a good plan that follows the youth from start to finish, but also being able for all important parties working with that youth to know, here's the treatment plan, this is why that is important, this is the work that's already been done, this is the work that is going to be continued in the community. That's really what sets a youth up in the best case scenario to have, you know, the least number of disruptions, the most amount of support.
And once that behavior is stabilized, and once they're kind of at a good mental capacity where they can make some of the needed changes within themselves, they can then proceed to be successful with our education department.
It is really critical work that we're doing, and we set the stage for our young men to be able to learn and grow and receive guidance from other places across the facility as well. If in fact we've done the jobs that we have worked towards, they'll walk away with not only a diploma, but a path and purpose for where they want to go in their life.
And then when you look at, you know, the work that's happening on our unit management side with the BUILD project.
There's a couple phases in the BUILD program. The first phase is really just to build a foundation, building a skill set, a soft skill set, as well as self-regulation regulating. We're doing some financial literacy stuff, and then some career exploration stuff with the Job and Family Services and the Ohio Means Jobs program.
I've put together a curriculum for the kids, which has been incorporated into Build. And what that curriculum includes is doing different assessments, doing career exploration, all the way up to how they find a job. The goal is, once they're done with that curriculum, that the kids are able to put a resume together on their own and then apply for jobs on their own and carry that with them into the community.
If that work is not done to the high degree of efficiency that it is currently being done, we wouldn't be able to link kids with some of those secondary opportunities from a reentry perspective. Stepping kids down to CCFs, going to a trades program has never been done before, and we've been able to, over the last year, to facilitate it so that 2 young people just recently graduated with their HVAC certificates. We have another 2 that are currently in an HVAC program.
Right now I'm getting phone calls from the Ohio Public Defender's Office, parole officers, behavioral health services staff, because people are getting familiarized with what it is we're doing, and everyone is sending me names of individuals they think would be good candidates for these programs now, and I'm hoping that's going to be a springboard for us to find other programs, other administrations throughout the state that are willing to do this.
We can't do our job without having community partners. We can't do our job without having support from bureaus and divisions within the agency. Our community service opportunities help us create our visibility within the community, outside of the community, in a positive light, and strengthens our opportunities to provide restorative justice for our youth. So that requires a collaboration and communication and alignment with our parole.
So the PRPS stands for Parole Reentry Planning Staffing. Case planning isn't conducted in a vacuum. It needs to be centered around the youth and the family, and start bringing in the folks that are going to be working with the youth in the community to kind of check all the boxes and make sure that everything's covered and address any needs and barriers, and make sure that we have things in place to address needs and barriers.
What we found here at any given time is that 25 to 30% of our parolees reside here in Cuyahoga County or come from Cuyahoga County. What we've done is we've partnered with Project Lift. Instead of just operating on our own, we've partnered with them because we've realized that it takes a community-centered approach. To do that, Project Lift offers teen life skills. They offer a lifted men's fatherhood program, as well as counseling for the individual, the family, groups, as well as crisis intervention.
We are not only compliance monitors. We're not here just to make sure a kid gets things done. We are actually here to walk that kid through the process. So the question is not always, are you employed? Are you looking for a job? It's more, what can I do to help you get a job? Do you need me to go and help you find resources?
So that at some point, they will not have to have someone like our juvenile parole officers in their lives in order to make the correct decisions.
I take great joy in seeing the pieces of the puzzle come together, because when the puzzle gets completely filled in and all the pieces connected, that young person's chances for success go up exponentially. But also I love seeing that puzzle come together, because that means our team worked effectively as a team.